So I got the results back from my Ancestry DNA, and I'll show a screen clip of it, a screenshot of it. There were no huge surprises. So the two continents, this is the ethnicity estimates. So the two continents are Europe at 67% and West Asia at 33%. So Europe East is 39%. Not surprising, my mother is Slovak. Italy and Greece, this surprised me, is a little bit, it's not surprising, it's a little higher than I thought it would be. So this was a little bit of a surprise. It came out at 23%. Trace regions. European Jewish, 4%. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's a common for people that come from that part of the world. And what I had expected. So one of the things I've said actually for years now, I say, because I speak English, my name is English. I always make it very clear that, I have no English, Irish, Scottish in me. I just speak the language and I have an English name. Well, this DNA confirms that. So Great Britain is a trace amount, less than 1%. Scandinavia, trace, less than 1%. So I can continue on saying, I only speak the language, but I'm not English. Western Asia. So this was split into two areas: Middle East, 21%, and Caucasus, 12%. As expected, I'm half Lebanese. So the reason why, so it also gives DNA matches of people who've taken this test that are on Ancestry.com, and it ranks them from extremely high probability that we have a common ancestor to, I think, good. And so this is where, appearances really don't you have to take them with a grain of salt, because there's this one woman, she shows up actually quite early on, and she's extremely high, and she's fascinating. I'm definitely going to contact her for a couple reasons. A, there's an extremely high probability we share a common ancestor. I think in the ranking we only go from fourth to sixth cousins, and for fourth cousin to sixth cousin, and because she definitely has an African American influence. So she wouldn't be someone who I'd just stop and look right away. But if you look at what she makes public, she makes these 4 ancestors very public, and 3 of them I don't. There's one that's Arabic, so I think that's a person that we share in common. And so I'm definitely going to contact her. The other reasons why I do want to contact her is because, 2, she's a PhD. So this one's pretty smart. So she's probably done, she knows how to research. And, hopefully I can learn something from her, and especially from what we share in common. And 3, she's very active on Ancestry. She's worked very hard making this tree. She's I think she's 60. So, so she's a perfect person. There's this one man on there. He's looks totally Lebanese, but he has no tree. And he just did the DNA test. So he's not active on it. So I may give him the names don't familiar, like even the name that I identified with her, with one of her ancestors she made public, the name is not familiar to me. So yeah, so that's it. And my hope. So I'm really at a crossroads with my father's side because I can't get his real name, his parents' name that they had in Lebanon. So I can't go back, and I know I can't see immigrant. I have some immigration documents, but I can't trace them beyond my grandparents on my father's side because I don't have a name. All I have is the name that they were given or they assumed when they came to the United States. So, based on what I've read with Lebanese people who migrated in the early 20th century, there was really no rhyme or reason to the names. And, their last name was John, and John is not Arabic. So, I don't know if they assumed that name, or they were given that name. But and it may not have a direct translation. So I think the Lebanese is Hanna or something like that. So, but they said you have to really look. So I have to get some. I need some help at this point because I'm stuck. And I think I've gotten as much information as I could get from my family and from the records that I could trace. But I think I need to go to some people who have a little bit more information on how I can work on it for me. My mother's side, I have to wait. I have more information with her, but one of my sisters has more immigration documents from her. And she's going to send them to me. So I can actually go back to Slovakia and with some real specific names and locations and get some information from them. So I'm going to put her aside until I get that. My hope is that, the reason why I did this is because I feel sometimes living in North America, we sometimes think that this is this whole culture is how it's always been, and that couldn't be further from the truth. That we come from a very long line of people who came from different lands, different cultures, different ways of seeing the world, different experiences, radically different experiences. It's also a trace to kind of see that we have a history, right? We have a history. And sometimes we get caught up in some of the hard things that we've experienced, and not knowing that some of the stories of our ancestors are very heartwarming, surprising sometimes. Certain attributes that get passed on from generation to generation. Certain things get passed on, certain characteristics, and it's just a better understanding of who we are. But understanding who we are means understanding who we are today is from generations of learning and experiences and everything. So that's why I want to do that. And I'm really hoping that my cousins and my siblings will take a DNA test. I think it's important. And, but, it's up to them. So I uploaded my DNA results to GEDmatch.com because apparently it'll give me some more information. They have a bigger database, and I don't have to pay for it, which is great. So I might get some more information. But anyway, so I'll come back when I get some more information on what I'm coming up, some new stuff, and I can go from there. Anyway, so I hope everyone's doing well, and take care. Bye.